we could probably go ahead and start. Yeah, just try not to stare at the screen because it'll look like you're looking at something on top of the camera. Or you can just like not even have to look at the screen. You just look at us.
So whatever you want to do, doesn't
whatever
matter.
You want.
No one's gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't look at the camera."
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, we're gonna get so much flack from my millions of followers if you do something wrong.
Yeah.
All my sponsors are gonna be like, dude, we can't sponsor you.
All your sponsors.
It'd be like the dudes that
YouTube.
It'd be like Kanye West, the Adidas just wrapped him.
It'd be like the dudes that cheated on the walleye tournament.
Oh,
yeah,
Did you see that?
I didn't even see that.
Oh, that's something we can talk about.
Well, I've seen like memes and stuff, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't even know what. Did
I
they
saw
weight the fish or something?
Yeah, they put lead weights in the fish and fillets. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did bad.
Literally
yeah.
fillets of other fish. Just shoved it down its throat.
Yeah.
I'm like,
How'd they find out about it? They were just like weighing it, and one of the fish tipped, and then like
no, I think
fell out.
like they were comparing, like they weighed them. They're like, man, that's kind of high, and then like comparing them to other people, like
Right.
getting the same amount. They're like,
yeah,
this fish is bigger. Why do you guys?
Yeah, and
got a real dense fish there.
Yeah, and the weighing dude's like, man, that's a pretty big fish. I want to take a picture with it. He put it up and go take a picture with it, and he felt the stomach, and he goes, I don't feel right.
This dude's been eating lots of rocks.
Right. Yeah, and then he got all mad. He took all the fish and started slicing them
them
open and pulling stuff
Are you
out.
serious?
Slicing them
Yeah.
open. Yeah, they didn't even care. They were cutting
Yeah.
them, like not even cutting them nicely, just knife and right down the stomach.
Yeah.
People walking around to like fish mounts in their house, putting like weights in the
It's
mouth. And just leaving them there. It's pretty funny.
What's up, guys?
Oh, we're starting already?
Welcome. Yeah, we're starting.
Have we been rolling this whole time?
I mean, we were gonna use just what we just talked about, so it don't matter. It don't matter when we start.
I didn't know we were rolling.
We are here with Bryant, Don, and myself, also known as Donald. What do you prefer,
Yep.
Don or Donald?
It
Donnie
really
Dollars.
don't matter. Donnie Dollars.
Donnie. I
Donald.
have you as Donnie Dollars in my phone because he shared your contact with me once,
Is that what it came up as?
and now it's just Donnie Dollars in my
Hey,
phone.
that's fine.
It's been-
That's what everybody calls them.
That's what everyone calls me.
I've known you for like a while.
A while.
Yep,
Church.
We went to church for
Yep.
for a long time, and then I met Bryant through you because you
Yeah.
recommended him to me or something
work.
for work
Yep.
stuff, but then you've known Bryant since like high school, right?
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah, middle school.
Middle. Yeah, just about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
middle.
running around with your Java Best jersey on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Walking the halls. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Don's a super cool guy. Bryant's obviously a super cool guy.
Jake's.
I'm not a cool guy at all, really. But we just kind of wanted to talk about how the season's been going for us so far. Mostly me, because you haven't been out yet.
Yeah, we haven't done
Brian
anything.
hasn't been out for deer season yet, but he's getting ready to probably be out filming me quite a bit, hopefully, if I can get out. But yeah, so far it's been pretty slow for me. I mean, I've seen like some little bucks and stuff like that, but nothing super crazy. But we pretty much just wanted to talk about kind of like you, because we're going to be taking you out on a hunt this evening. I guess just start out by like telling everybody your background. Like, how'd you get into hunting? Was it like something that ran in your family? Was it like tons of hours of YouTube binging, TV, magazines?
That's actually kind of tough to answer because they didn't really run in my family. My dad did it, but he did it super young, so he didn't do it when he got older. So I kind of just.
So is it somewhere you like picked it up from him when you were little, and then you just kind of ran with it from there?
I guess you could say that. And then my Uncle Matt, I remember my Uncle Matt always went out hunting all the time, and that's kind of how it got started.
You
How
just
old
saw
are
the gun, you were like, that looks sick.
Sick.
Yeah. What age
I
was that?
was, probably around 12, 13.
Okay.
So I was just starting in my teens when I really got into hunting. And I remember watching it on TV all the time, and I'm like, man, that's super cool.
So did you have like any like mentors, I guess, from like when you got older and you were like trying to really get into it, or did you just kind of like wait till you were old enough to go out and you just like bought a crossbow? Or a
Yeah,
gun
my
or
Uncle
something and
Matt
went
really
out?
helped me get.
Uncle Matt.
Yeah, really helped me get into it with helping me out and telling me what to do, and that, and plus some YouTube really helped.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of share like what's your track record like? Like I know you've killed some deer, so like.
Yep, I got my first buck last year. And that was 6
Nice.
point. Actually, a year ago today, I missed a 10 point.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out of about 30 yards. I got some buck fever going on because it would have been my first buck. I used my 35-yard pin, and it shot under it, and I got down, seen the arrow, and it was clean.
And you what?
The arrow was clean.
Oh, I thought you said you started to scream. I mean,
I
I
probably do
probably
that too.
would too, honestly. So it was at
Yeah.
35, and then you shot under it because you were 5 yards off.
Yeah.
Huh. Like sometimes with crossbows, because they're so loud, like a lot of times a deer duck enough to where you would think that you probably still hit it, but
Yeah, the thing walked
weird.
off like nothing ever happened. And as soon as it did that, I was kind of kicking myself. Cause,
Really?
yeah.
Did it not run right away?
No, it kind of just looked at me and like walked off back.
Yeah,
into
he was
the
like,
woods.
nice try, dude. Nice try.
I see many dudes like you.
Right.
So what would you tell somebody that's new trying to get into hunting, or maybe they don't have like a mentor or somebody like that that's that can like go take them out, or because I do know some guys, like I just met a guy this past weekend, and he was like, hunting like sounds pretty fun, but he's never gone. I don't think anybody in his family goes, so like it's a lot. I know it's way harder for
Especially going blind.
right, because like my dad took me out when I was little, and he was like a meat hunter, so he had like a 30-30 that he borrowed from his
yeah.
buddy, and then like I kind of got like developed a little bit of an interest in it, and then I was the one that was like, Dad, please take me hunting. So he was like, okay, and he taught me what he knew, and then I kind of
Right.
went from there. But what's some of like the most important stuff that you feel like you've learned since you started? Because how long have you been like bow hunting? I guess did you start bow hunting around the same time you started gun hunting, or was it?
No, that was completely different. I started gun hunting first.
Oh, okay.
I didn't start bow hunting probably until 2017, so I haven't been at it too long.
Gotcha.
Scent control and scouting is probably the best advice I can give. Make sure you're hunting the wind, and just
Right.
make sure you actually scout before you go out, because that helps a lot.
Yeah, that's been huge for me too.
Yeah.
It's real easy for some people to just go out and sit everywhere.
Yeah, even if it's
You
just
just, like-
putting up a trail cam on a trail.
Right, just to see what's moving through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so how many times have you been out this year so far?
I haven't been out this year.
You want to show everybody why?
Sadly, I got
The arm.
yeah, I got rear-ended
Snapped.
by a drunk driver, and I broke my left arm. I'm in occupational therapy. I got some weight restrictions, so I can't pull back anything, but it's getting there. I should be okay by gun season, hopefully. So
Yeah, I remember like Bryant like texted me or something. He's like, "Hey, say a prayer for Donald," because he just
Yeah, I
got
think
in
I
a car
called you
accident.
at like, I don't know, it was like 11 o'clock at night or something.
oh, it was
Yeah.
the same
It
night.
was- yeah, right before I went to the hospital, yeah.
Oh dang.
Yeah, that was a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
was-
didn't know what kind of condition you were in, so.
No, and then after we found out you were okay. Then your dog was missing.
Yeah,
'Cause you
that
had your
was
dog in the car
hard.
with you when it happened, right?
Yeah. I hope, thankfully, he was okay, and thankfully that's the only thing that happened to me. But man, that was
But he took off like.
Yeah, he
So,
ran.
yeah,
left
like
the
he
car.
got in the car accident and then
He ran. Yeah.
he ran. Was that when like people were trying to get into your car,
No,
or when
no.
you got out of your car? He
No,
took off, or
the
what?
second. So my car rolled, and the second my car got the second we stopped rolling, he went out the window that broke, and he took off.
Jeez.
So, I mean, understandably, he was scared.
Right.
So-
And he was gone for how long before?
12 hours before we found him.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Somewhere
it happened at
around there.
night, and they found him the next, like, right, it was probably around noon the next
Probably
day.
on noon the next
Yeah, because
day.
you and Jalen were looking for him, and I was about
Yeah.
ready to go looking
Yeah,
for
the
him.
cop looked for him that night for like 3 hours too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of people
And they
out there
found him
looking.
behind like a local store
Store,
right there
yeah.
in that area.
Yep. Yep. Nuts.
Been a little restricted.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
restricted.
Been restricted.
And you don't have like, because the first thing that I thought of when you were like, I can't, I haven't been out yet. As I was like, well, they have these cranks for crossbows where you can like crank them, but evidently yours isn't like the model doesn't accept something like that or something.
It accept cranks, but and actually my Uncle Matt that I talked about earlier tried to get me a crank, and we were using it, and it just felt sketchy. So I'm like,
Like this thing's about ready to explode.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, I
Oh,
ain't
jeez.
doing that.
Yeah. That's a little scary. I know
Yeah.
I have a little crossbow for my little brother to take him out and stuff, and takes a little bit of force to get that thing back when you're just pulling with the rope or whatever.
Yeah. When you pull mine, or when whoever pulls mine back today, you're gonna feel the force of and how tough this one is.
Yeah, because the one for my little brother is like it's made for youth, so it's pretty dang slow for a crossbow.
Right.
But most of them are pretty fast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
can't
yours
remember.
Probably is way harder to pull than mine.
Oh yeah.
Well, one of the coolest things I like about crossbows is how like you don't have to be like with a compound. You have to be sitting upright or standing, one of the two, or kneeling at least.
Yep.
You have to have like a decent amount of clearance on the like top and bottom of your bow because of your limbs. And then you have your string, so you got to be careful like you don't get branches in between that. And
or
you also have
shoot it off over your skin right here.
Yep. And then you have your like the draw process too.
Yep.
So like if you set up like really tight to bedding or something and a deer just like walks out right in front of you, like sometimes you can't even get a shot off because you're like, okay. And the deer's like, what was that? Well, with a crossbow, you can just literally, just stand there frozen, flick it off safety and shoot.
Yeah.
And it's way less of a learning curve, which is, super good in my opinion to be able to let people get out. More and stuff
it's
like
good
that.
for people to start bow hunting then. It's
Right.
really good for them.
Because it's like, I feel like it's already a huge learning curve just to learn how to hunt deer.
Yeah.
much less try to figure out how to use like a compound, because in my opinion, like using a bow is very complicated, like very.
Yeah.
If you don't have somebody in a pro shop that's like teaching you how to do everything, or you don't have like a buddy that teaches you how, then it's a process and it's just hard.
Yeah.
I pulled up the spot that you're hunting, and I'll block out like the names and stuff so people don't know exactly where everything's at. But I just want to kind of show everybody where we were planning on hunting this evening. I like to use, onyx or some sort of like just general map.
Loves to use onyx.
Ryan makes fun of me all the time.
So does your wife.
About time.
Because he was laying in bed on it like at night all the time. Is it dropping pins here, dropping pins there?
It's a little bit of an addiction. And and
You
it's
know how
horrible
nice
because half
it
the
is?
things don't ever turn out to be good. Like you'll like come up with these fantasies about this spot, and then you walk in and you're like, this isn't so good. So the spot you have to hunt is pretty much this field right here. You got like this little chunk of woods, the L-shaped chunk of woods, or I guess that would be J-shaped.
J-shaped, yeah.
L-shaped if you're mean, you don't know how to spell.
Oh, jeez.
Me and my brother did hunt back here one year, and it was for turkey season. They let us go out there and hunt turkeys.
Nice.
We actually killed a double.
Nice.
Yeah, we killed 2 birds,
Oh, sweet.
and that's the only time I've hunted back here. But so far it's been pretty good pretty good to me. But
It's been pretty good to me too, I can tell you that.
really,
Yeah.
I feel like no matter where you're at, like if you got crops and especially standing corn, deer go out and hide in them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because so you're related to the people that own this field,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I went to church with them, and they're pretty good friends of mine. But I saw like one of the biggest bucks of my life, probably only like a mile from here, and it was when Cody was plowing a field, and he posted this picture of this buck that he saw, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the biggest deer I've ever seen." And at first, I was like, "Dang, that's a big deer." And then the second thing that came into my mind was, I know where that's at. And it just turns out I had permission to hunt that spot, and so I ran out there, and I didn't end up killing him. Like he came out, but it wasn't where I was sitting and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was pretty fun. I guess the first thing that kind of stuck out to me was these grass fields right here, and I'll give you a chance to tell me if I'm an idiot or if I'm so far off. I don't know. I might be far off. Anyways, I was just zoomed in on this neighbor's grass fields, and the first thing I noticed is just they look pretty big and expansive. And then if you look, like you can see all these deer trails, crisscrossing. They're just everywhere. And then you can see like spots like right here. It's almost like an octopus.
Yeah.
Like the tentacles coming out. So you tell like, okay, there's quite a few deer that are kind of intersecting there.
Yep.
You can see a lot of trails kind of walking this edge, and then up in here over by this little corner of trees, there's quite a bit of deer trails too.
Yep.
Same thing down here. There's like this little jut out right here of trees, and then there's a lot of trails coming off of that and coming down here to this corner.
Yep.
So that was another
That
point of
corner's
interest.
been huge. I wanted to get something out there this year on that corner, but sadly
Really?
the accident happened and I wasn't able to get there.
Yeah, that something I noticed. And then over on the west side, looks like the neighbors got a little bit of sliver of land with some pines maybe in the backside. So I was like,
Yep.
well, maybe there could be some deer bedding up in those pines. They might come out and jump that anurban or whatever that is.
It's rare that they bed over there. I usually don't ever see them come out of there.
Really?
Yeah.
So I was wrong. I
Yeah.
was wrong. And then obviously you have the little J-shaped chunk of wood. And this looks pretty cool, in my opinion, because of you have all this grass, and it just seems like whenever you have standing corn that meets up with really tall grass, there's a lot of deer that bed up on the fringes.
Yep. They love it back there. And then
I was thinking up at the top was where I originally put pins.
but I see some back there sometimes, but they like to walk right through that to get out into the field.
Really?
Because they feel some comfort.
I guess I can't really tell what the lowest area is in that, because I know deer a lot of times will hug more of the low areas, but it was hard for me to tell.
Oh, you're fine.
Part of me was just gonna be like, hey, I figured we could just walk in and then check the sign and stuff like that and see if we see tracks or,
No. Yeah.
what's the best.
What is different too in this year than previous years, the whole front of the property up until that little island used to be nothing but grass, and they used to not plant crops there. But this year they planted some corn in there, so that's completely different.
So you've been out there this year then?
Yeah, or drove by it.
Okay.
That was one thing I was looking forward to, is just driving by and seeing like what everything looks like, because I don't know how high the grass was in these grass fields.
As far as I know, the dude hasn't cut it. Yeah.
Yeah, hasn't?
Yeah.
Pretty much everything, like as long as it's not across a fence, then you should be good. I hunt fence lines all the time. I just look for the little barbed wire and I sit on the edge. But hey, if you get permission to hunt a field and that's all you got, then that's pretty much all you got to work with. Yeah, we'll see. We'll go out there and take a look at it.
You can, the pig farm is not too far from there, and usually when you sit there, you can hear a pig squeal.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. One time I hunted a spot where I could hear goats yelling all morning.
Oh,
They had like
sit
a
there and
goat
laugh.
farm, and you just like get up in your stand, and you're like waiting for the sun to rise, and then you're just sitting there and it's like, you're like, good grief. Cool. Well, we'll see what we see. That'll probably be the next video that goes up pretty soon. Hopefully my camera's still rolling, it's not dead. We were talking about, Bryant had asked a question about scent control, because that was something that you had mentioned about one of your tips, and then the camera cut out. So, what's kind of stuff that you do that you feel like works?
I definitely use the scent array stuff that you can buy at any of the stores. I don't like go overboard and spray everything. I at least get my boots and maybe my gloves, but
Right. But you use a certain scent.
fresh earth. It just smells like dirt, and I think that hides pretty well in the air, especially anywhere you
It
go.
really smells like dirt.
But yeah,
Yeah.
literally,
It-
you close your
absolutely.
eyes, you think someone just had a handful of dirt. In their
Yeah.
face.
I've used the little wafers, like a little plastic wafer, and you can like clip it on yourself or like put it in a bucket of clothes, and that really smells like dirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it'll just like the scent will kind of like just penetrate everything.
You ever use the like bar soap things, like wash yourself with
Yeah, I used to use everything.
everything? Try everything.
Yeah, I got
Even the laundry detergent?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the farthest that I got into it was there's a guy out there, and he kind of like has, in my opinion, like the most extreme scent control. He kind of like preaches like, if you do this, then you can get by the deer's nose and they won't smell you. Won't drop any names. His first name starts with John. His last name is Eberhart. No, he's a good guy. Honestly,
Right.
He is, and he shot a crap ton of deer. And he's from Michigan. I washed all my stuff, washed my backpack, only stored it in like a scent controlled free container, kept my boots separate. I did everything. I used gaiters that covered up where my pants and my boots met, so that scent couldn't like escape out of my pant leg, because they say that's a lot of times where scent gets out and stuff. I'd spray down, I'd pretty much do everything I could. And then on top of that, I was using the ozonics machine. And I was running out my backpack when I was walking in, and I was using it in my tree. And I was climbing up probably like 30, 35 foot up in the tree. Pretty much what I found out was...
Not worth it.
Brian's like, I've already seen that video.
It sounds like you're... No, but it sounds like you're talking the fast tense. So obviously if it was great, you'd still be doing it.
True. Yeah, that's true. But so what I found out was if you sit up high enough in a tree, it doesn't matter if you're using scent control or not. What happens is the wind just kind of blows your scent over the top of the deer. Okay. And so a lot of times you'll have deer and you feel like, oh, they're downwind, but what in reality your scent's just kind of blowing right over the top of them. I've been in situations where I'm like, ooh, that's because my scent control's so good, and I thought it was my scent control. But then the other day I was sitting out in a tree and I had a deer do the exact same thing, and it was downwind of me. And I was up in a tree, and it didn't smell me at all. And I was stinky and sweaty and wearing my work clothes. So I think if you're in a tree, it's really hard to tell if what you're doing is working. But if you're on the ground, that's a whole different story because, I mean...
You're dead even with the deer.
Oh, yeah. I've never had a situation, really, where if I'm on the ground and the deer's, like, right downwind, that it smells me and doesn't wig out. Like, the closest I've ever come was one time I was hunting with my brother, and I was sitting on a fence line, and there was a doe downwind of me at probably 5 yards. Really? And I had my ozonics right behind me, and it was just barely any wind. I think it would almost would have been a stagnant wind. And I think my ozonics was pooling, all the ozone, and it was pooling in the same spot my scent was pooling. So the deer couldn't really get a good enough whiff of my scent. So it was covering me decent enough. But then I've used them in trees, and as soon as your wind picks up, then the ozone can't cover it perfectly.
Right.
And it's your scent's going, places, the ozone's going places, but they're both there. So the deer smells something usually. Yeah, no, pretty much all I do now is I will spray my boots down, and then I wear those gaiters because I feel like that helps with my ground scent.
Do you only spray your boots?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. Just because I feel like I get scent on everything else quite a bit.
But what do you do with your actual clothes?
Well, a lot of times I'll just wear work pants and then a sweatshirt or something. So I just try not to touch stuff that's in the area. And I kind of just always assume if I go into a spot, no matter what, the deer will know I was there. I might leave less scent, I might leave more scent, but I feel like no matter what, the deer knows that I was there to some degree. So that's why your first sit in a spot's usually your best one because they haven't gotten a chance to go in there and smell where you were at. Right. And then, obviously if there's a rain or something that washes your scent away, then. Right. But I'm no expert. I haven't even shot a deer yet this year.
But you've seen some.
Yeah, I've seen some. So.
It's more than me.
Could you have shot a deer this year if you wanted to?
Yeah, I could have shot some little bucks. So we'll see. It's getting there. We're starting to get pictures of some big ones on camera that are doing that midnight walkabout.
No, yeah, and say the what's about in full swing.
Yeah, it's like that time of year where the big ones are, trying to find that first doe that goes into heat. Yep. Because they seem like they're always the first ones to the action.
Yeah.
They just all the little bucks are running around like I need me a woman, and then the big one just goes in there, smells a little bit, boots the little guy off, and he's like, all right. We'll see. Hopefully we got more videos coming out for you guys soon. It's been kind of slow, but hopefully we kill one tonight, and then we'll have a cool episode. Yeah. All three of us are going to be out there.
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun regardless.
Yeah, it will be. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.